Yesterday, this channel was deemed too dangerous and harmful by YouTube. As many of you know, we had the live stream going. We had Plan B on. Plan B was dropping bombs. He was dropping bombs about the economy, about monetary policy, about Bitcoin, about the stock to flow ratio, where he thought Bitcoin's price could go. At one point, he said that over the next couple of years, he could see Bitcoin anywhere between $1 million to $5 million. Real harmful educational stuff going on here. And so right towards the end of the stream, all of a sudden, we thought we shut off the stream. And then there was people who were watching and they got told that the stream ended abruptly and the channel was deleted. And when I went to refresh the page, it said the channel was deleted. So that's weird. Maybe it's just a glitch. Then I checked my email and we had a couple of emails from YouTube. Here's the first one. Our team has, or I'm sorry, this is the second email that I received. Our team has reviewed your content and unfortunately we think it violates our harmful and dangerous policy. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You are watching the most dangerous business show in the world right here live on YouTube. We've removed the following content from YouTube. Thanks so much, Susan and team. And we know that this might be disappointing, but it's important to us that YouTube is a safe place for all. Again, best business show, very dangerous place. Got to make sure it's safe. If the content breaks our rules, we remove it. Great rule. If you think we've made a mistake, you can appeal it and we'll take another look. Keep reading for more details. Again, we then had another piece of information shared by YouTube. We then were told what the policy says. Content that encourages illegal activities. That's right, our show is so dangerous that we encourage illegal activities or incites users to violate YouTube's guidelines is not allowed on YouTube. The Taliban is allowed on YouTube, the CCP is allowed on YouTube, but the most dangerous business show is not permitted. We may allow depictions of such activities if they are educational or documentary in nature and don't help others imitate them. Again, the educational business and finance show does not qualify under the educational clause in their policies. When uploading a video, make sure you post as much information as possible in the title, which is actually not what you're supposed to do on YouTube, and description to help us and your viewers understand the primary purpose of the video. So then it says, we get another email, and this is the last email I got from YouTube. I think they got tired of emailing. They said, how does this affect your channel? We have permanently removed your channel from YouTube. We were deplatformed. And it says, going forward, you won't be able to access, possess, or create any other YouTube channels. Susan Wojcicki, who is the CEO of YouTube, I apologize that I'm saying her name incorrectly, and the others at YouTube deplatformed us and tried to cancel us on their platform. Well, that's great, but guess what? We're here, and they didn't cancel us. They didn't deplatform us. So what exactly happened? If we then look at what transpired, I just took the emails and I started tweeting them. And I started to say, wait a second, this is pretty absurd. And that caught the attention of a lot of people. Because guess what? Censorship and deplatforming is a really sensitive issue right now. Because it's okay when they do it to somebody else that you disagree with. But when they come for you, all of a sudden, everyone gets really worried and nervous. And so it's not only important to talk about these issues when it's affecting you, it's also actually really important to talk about issues of censorship and deplatforming when it's happening to people that you may disagree with or that you may think don't really matter to what you're interested in. And so when I started to tweet, we had everyone from people in Silicon Valley to senators to congressmen all tweeting support or commentary. The first, David Sachs, said the use of a censorship power that we were promised would only be used in the most extreme cases has become absolutely routine and largely inexplicable. So again, this was originally promised, this idea that they could take you off a platform only for the most dangerous people in society, people that absolutely were spreading misinformation and were putting people in danger. That sounded pretty good at first. Now all of a sudden, they've come for the most dangerous business show without really any sort of explanation. And also, YouTube eventually told us that one single employee, some employee that nobody knows the name of, that nobody knows how to hold accountable, got to make the decision by themselves. There was one employee who was the manual reviewer. They watched the content. They said, we think this is not good on our platform. And they, with a click of a button, were able to completely delete the channel and deplatform us. I don't think that we want to live in a society where some random manual human reviewer has the ability to hit the kill switch and just cancel somebody off the platform. But to that human reviewer, sorry, you probably had a bad day yesterday. We're still here. Nobody knows who you are. And the problem is with these systems, no one person should have all that power. Shout out Kanye West. Because it's ridiculous that there's no review process, there's no checks and balances, there's nothing. The default action is they just can cancel you. They can just deplatform you, even when they make a mistake. But remember, the reason why we came back is because not only folks like David Sachs were able to amplify it, but then here we have elected officials. We have Senator Lummis saying, yet another canary in the coal mine. What are ways for access to information to flourish? How can lawmakers support censorship resistance? No mandates, but protection of freedoms, like the freedom of speech. Again, I've got 1 million followers on Twitter, so I'm able to get the word out. But there are hundreds, if not thousands of people who every single year get canceled or deplatformed or censored on platforms like YouTube. It's absurd. They don't have the privilege and the benefit of other large audiences to go to and yell and scream and make a bunch of noise to get the attention of YouTube and the executives and the team there. Instead, what ends up happening is they get thrown into and lost in an entire series of automated customer service flows, no phone number to call, and frankly, they're just forgotten. They're completely wiped from the internet. Many of those hundreds or thousands of people have spent hours and hours, lots of time and energy and mental cycles working their asses off to build their audience, to build content for the platform, trying to follow the rules. And with one click of a button, one random employee that is nameless and faceless can just kick you right off the platform. It's not the society we want to live in. Congressman Davidson also chiming in, saying, a distributed ledger platform for free speech needs user-friendly mass adoption swiftly. There are clearly alternatives to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, even Google, but authoritarian impulses at big tech are spreading like contagion. Again, this isn't some conspiracy theory of top-down thought process as to the big tech executives got into a room and they collude with each other to silence one individual person. YouTube clearly stated on Twitter, a random employee with a kill switch can just cancel us right off the platform. Does that random employee have training? Who holds them accountable? Or will they be punished for their inaccurate action? What ends up being the repercussions? We didn't make a mistake. And yesterday we were punished. And all we got was an apology. So what happens? How do they prevent this from happening in the future? Well, the short answer is we don't know. But the fact that there's one random nameless, faceless employee at Google who has the power to do this, and if they can do it to us with 250,000 subscribers, they can do it to anyone. It's not just about us. It's just the fact that maybe they shouldn't have the ability without checks and balances, without the ability to filter what is the reason why the employees punch in the button. Doesn't make a lot of sense to us. On top of that, the only reason why you're watching this right this second is because we literally made so much noise and had so many people chiming in that eventually we were trending on Twitter. The average person on YouTube can't do that. They can't rally an entire community to yell and scream, to have people both publicly supporting it and raising hell, but also privately, a bunch of people who've asked not to be named, calling up folks that they know at YouTube, whether it's some sort of partnership person or people who are higher up and saying, hey, what is going on? Again, this isn't something where we violated the policies. This isn't something where we were doing something nefarious or spam or trying to steal money from people or anything like that. It was simply that they deemed the content harmful and dangerous. And so if a show on personal finance and business education can be deemed dangerous and harmful, and with the click of a button of a nameless, faceless employee at Google can be thrown off the platform, and you can be told that not only is your current channel being removed, but you also will not be allowed to create new channels and to start over, maybe we should start asking ourselves, what is the process? What are the rules? Because this is no longer the best business show in the world. It's now the most dangerous business show in the world. And if we have the most dangerous business show in the world, maybe everyone's dangerous. And who gets to decide who's dangerous and harmful? Well, it's not us. It's not the public. Some random employee at Google. That random employee at Google right now is telling all of us, we don't want this content anymore. So, you know what we're going to do today? We're going to give away $1 for every single like we get on this video. YouTube doesn't like what we're doing. We're just going to double and triple down. If you think we're dangerous and harmful, wait till you see what we have planned. Because if they deem sharing information about what people should do from an investing standpoint, getting involved in business, owning equity, making sure they're protected from unreal levels of unemployment and inflation, and they're being told a story by the incumbents and the experts that ends up not being accurate, we're just gonna sit here and keep telling the truth. And if they eventually take us off the platform, okay, says more about them than it does about us. Because all we're talking about is personal finance. But again, it's dangerous, it's harmful. And as my brothers and I grew up, you know, sometimes you just gotta be the dangerous guys.
I was gonna say, you kept saying how the show's dangerous. You woke up feeling dangerous today.
I mean, listen, the fact that we got canceled off the platform is absurd.
Yeah.
But what's more absurd is that we got back in 4 hours and there's people who've been taken off the platform 30 days ago, 60 days ago, 90 days ago, and they got no ability to do what we did.
Yeah, that aren't doing anything wrong, right? People that have done haven't broken any of the rules, haven't received any strikes, exactly what happened to us, but don't have the audience or the ability to go out there and promote it and say, hey, we need to get back on.
Of course, it's absurd. The reason why I'm bringing up the fact that there's people with large audiences from Silicon Valley, etc., that there's senators and congressmen, right? We know that that is absurd that they were all spreading this message and amplifying. It's because censorship and deplatforming is so sensitive right now. But on top of that, the fact that we're able to make that much noise protects us. So actually part of the protection from censorship or deplatforming is the fact that we have other large audiences that we can then mobilize to actually make enough noise. But if you're just some random person on YouTube who's got an account and you've got 5 or 10,000 subscribers and you're creating content and one day you just show up to your account and it's literally just taken off the platform, there's nothing you can do. I didn't speak to one person at YouTube yesterday, right? I went through the email. I couldn't even figure out how to actually chat with somebody. They had all these links like, oh, go here and you can chat, go here and you can chat. All the chat functions are in your account, but if your account's deleted, you can't chat with anybody. So anybody who's doing product management at Google, you might want to fix that. But then on top of that, not only is it absurd that they actually deplatform people like this, we're talking about a situation, no strikes, no warnings, no anything. This is just pure individual, one person at YouTube, according to what YouTube said publicly, one person made a mistake, they can cancel you, they can deplatform, and then they can prevent you from ever using the platform again. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I think that, this is why, if you looked on Twitter yesterday, appreciate all y'all, by the way, y'all saved the show, let's be honest.
Facts.
Yeah, facts. They went on Twitter, everyone was causing an uproar, and that helped, so appreciate that.
I was dying laughing. We had a team meeting afterwards that was pre-scheduled, and we sat there for about half the meeting, and I was just reading through tweets of people saying they were canceling their YouTube TV. They were tweeting at Susan after I told her to call me. She didn't call, but then they were also saying all kinds of crazy stuff, and that's exactly what ended up bringing it back, is literally YouTube has to respond when you make that much noise. Without you all, we don't bring the show back. We don't bring the channel back. But we have a very explicit advantage that other people don't have. And that's the part that frankly pissed me off, is because when we were going through it, I was annoyed. Yeah, it was super dumb, but like, I get the game. I've been living on the internet for years now. I know if we make enough noise, we'll eventually get in front of them. We didn't do anything wrong. They'll say it's a mistake. They'll apologize and they'll give us the channel back. But if I didn't have the big audience, if we didn't have all of you, you've been screwed. It was very obvious that there's no way to actually appeal this. There's no way to get the channel back unless you have a big audience somewhere else.
But I was going to say, like, this is what I got from it yesterday was like, this is the exact reason why people want to implement decentralized protocols against for legacy systems that we use today and networks that we use today, like YouTube and other platforms, right? And the idea was, right, David Sachs is completely right. Like, centralized protocols and systems and networks provide a lot of value, right? There's a reason why Facebook was able to scale so quickly, YouTube, et cetera, and all these platforms really work well. But David was right in the aspect that when you give them an inch, they take a mile, right? And we were promised that the ability to censor someone or take them off the platform or ban them or limit who can see their content with the algorithm and all this stuff was only going to be used for the craziest people in the world and people who were spewing misinformation and harmful information and dangerous information and illegal information. And that's clearly not the truth, right? What do we talk about? We talk about financial education. We give away money. We're paying for people's groceries. We're sending people to a football game. We bought a guy Jordans the other day.
Dangerous shit.
Yeah, like
dangerous.
No dangerous shit, right? But it just comes down to then one single person at YouTube, a massive, massive, massive company has the ability to just go in and shut off someone's channel. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be happening. And this is just showing how far it's come, right? Like from the ability of this used to be a major, major, major decision, right? The CEO would be most likely involved when you're talking about 10 years ago, 10 years ago, banning someone off the platform. Now it can literally happen from one individual who's reviewing your content, deciding he didn't agree with that day and removing you from the platform. And thank God, right? To the point of 1 million followers on Twitter, those tweets got millions and millions of impressions. You're telling the CEO of YouTube to call you. So like all this stuff helps and you can make noise trending on Twitter and it gets the ability to get the channel back in 2-3 hours. Other people are not lucky. And I think that's the important piece from it is like the decentralized protocols are important for people who cannot defend themselves in a public nature.
John, what do you think?
It's absurd. We got deplatformed. We got
they came for you, John.
Got censored. Yeah, what's your
John's
problem?
the most dangerous.
What's your problem? No, I think it's absurd. I mean, there has to be a review process in some sense for bad content on the internet. I personally think that is because look, if you see something bad, the misinformation and the dangerous part are kind of two separate things. Misinformation is you can like it's misinformation. The dangerous part is you can block someone, do all that, but they have to do something internally as a centralized company. Ridiculous that the Best Business Show got censored though. We're gonna giving away cash, free education.
All right, now that we got the serious stuff out of the way, listen here. We the captain now. We're the captain now. You don't deplatform us. We deplatform you. The only thing I'm willing to accept from the YouTube team, the only thing is put us on the homepage and give us another 250,000 subscribers. Then we'll call it even. So that to me feels like a fair trade. You take us down, you embarrass us, you really hurt us. Our audience, they lost the last end of the stream. There's really educational information there. You want to make it up to us? Put us on the homepage, give us 250,000 subscribers. We'll call it even. We'll tell everyone YouTube's great. Fair trade?
Fair trade.